Welcome to the English Out Loud podcast, a podcast where you can practice your English skills, improve your speaking abilities, your listening comprehension, and we have fun doing it. I'm not a boring person. I like having fun. That's why I do this. It allows me to have fun. Well, at least to have fun while teaching. And I truly do enjoy myself here. So let's take a look at what we're going to be working with today, and let's see where things are headed. For a start, I'd like to introduce the season. The season currently is autumn or fall. You see, we have actually two different words for this in English, autumn and fall. In the United States, the most commonly used term is fall. It's a rather easy one to remember overall, fall. And so, feel free to use it. Feel free to get used to using it. I mean, if you're going to be communicating with Americans, it's best to use the speech that Americans are using. If you don't hear many Americans saying autumn, then go ahead and say fall. However, if you want to have your own unique way of speaking, which is totally okay, then autumn will do. Autumn is a very nice sounding word. Personally, I use autumn. I just think it sounds nicer. And I think it really captures the crisp feeling of the season. Well, call it whatever you like. To kick things off, let's take a look at the way that we talk in fall. You see, Americans, we like making small talk. And here's how we do it in the fall season. You see, when you're seeing someone, just for a quick minute, something we tend to say is, it's nippy out. Now, nippy, it means the cold is biting at me. The cold is nipping me. Taking little bites. Nippy out today. Nippy. Now, if it's nippy out, you may want to tell someone to bundle up. Hey, you better bundle up. It's nippy out today. Bundle up. Now, what is bundle up? Well, bundles are layers. So if you bundle up, then you put on a jacket, hat, mitts, that sort of stuff. Bundle up when it's nippy out. What are some things that you can expect coming into fall? You know, there really are some changes that, honestly, depending on what your home country is, you may not be used to. And even if you've lived in America for 1 or 2 or a couple of years, you may still be learning about the seasons because they just may be unfamiliar to you. Here are some things that you can expect. First, we have the first day of fall. The first day of fall is September 21st. This is the day that you already see the changes of fall before this, but now it's officially fall. Now, getting into fall, how I always know that it's fall, aside from the fact that, the days are a little bit shorter. And that's one thing you can expect in America, the days get shorter. The next thing is a nice, actually rather sweet smell on the ground from the leaves that fall off the trees. Now, for somebody who lives in the southern United States, they may not experience this. In the southern United States, you don't exactly have the same change of seasons as what you have in the north. But up in the north, you get the leaves changing colors, falling down, and they smell sweet. They smell very sweet, especially after a rainy day, which you can also expect to see many of in fall. Rainy days are endless in fall. Rainy days. But hey, that's okay. September, as a month, is a bit of a strange one. It's a transitionary month. You have some days that are cool. Some days that are, 5 degrees Celsius. Ooh. I'm talking Celsius. In Fahrenheit, that would be like 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Anyway, we have days that'll be 5 degrees Celsius. But then in the afternoon, the same day, it'll go up to 25 degrees Celsius. 30 degrees Celsius. I hear lately around Toronto, it's been pretty warm lately. Pretty warm this fall. It's not bad. But the mornings are brisk. There's a good word for you, brisk. You ever heard of that word, brisk? Brisk is like a word to say something is fresh. A fresh kind of feeling. When you get up in the morning, you step outside, and you breathe, and you can see your breath. Oh, goodness. That's brisk. I'll tell you what, that is brisk. That'll wake you up in the morning. Now, this isn't to say that I don't like brisk mornings. You get up, you're feeling pretty fresh, really. And overall, it picks you up. As soon as you walk out the door, there's a nice sweet smell in the air. It's not a bad start to the day. You're feeling cozy if you're following the correct procedure. But there will be these unexpected days that you see around the end of September, beginning of October. Oh, these days. The wind's blowing and blowing, and it's 5 degrees Celsius, and then it starts raining, just pouring down, blowing rain, blowing wind. And you know what? I can take a cold day. That's not so bad. But what drives me nuts is when it just can't decide how cold it wants to be. Like the wind's blowing and it's the wind and the rain, and it feels like you are freezing, but you can't quite freeze because it's not really that cold. It's just windy and rainy. That is the kind of fall weather that I despise. But that's what we get. And that's okay. It's really a minor inconvenience. October, getting into October, we've got plenty of days of this sort. But here's the thing. By October, the leaves are off of the trees completely. The leaves are all gone from the trees. And, well, it's nippy. It's chilly outside. It is cold. And because all the leaves are gone, you have that nice sweet smell. So again, like I said, you get up in the morning, you're starting up the car for work, or you're maybe walking on the way to school, and you got a nice smell about you. It's not bad. The one thing that's interesting about October is that it looks spooky. October has a creepy look about it, I think. It's a lot of these trees. There are all the trees in October that you've gone through September. They looked really pretty. The leaves are falling and they're red, and that was nice. And then in the summer, they were vibrant and green, full of life. But now you have, those are your memories of these trees. And then now you look at them, now you look at these same trees, and they're just skeletons. Skeletons of trees. And it does really have a creepy look to it. I mean, the tree's still alive, but it doesn't have the same vibrant look that it did just a month before. And it's a creepy kind of feeling. Aside from that, in the fall, something that is very fun is all the fall festivals that we have. You see, the fall's a time for harvest. And so because of that, we get to enjoy so many things in the festivals. Now, first off, these festivals often, they come in different types. The ones around where I grew up, they were always nice little carnival type fairs. You'd get some really interesting folk coming through, some fun rides. You throw all your money away at the games. I mean, play the games. Play the games. The games are fun, but you're not going to win in the carnival. The carnival always wins. The carnival does not want to give you free toys. They want your money. Just so you know about the carnivals. But have fun playing the games. Anyway, great time. You can get candy apples. You can do so many things. One of my favorite things is actually apple cider. Apple cider is a delicious drink that I highly advise any newcomers to. I'm not sure how popular it is in Europe. I guess it must be popular in Europe as well, but most certainly any newcomers to Canada or the United States, in the fall season, get some hot apple cider in your belly. You will not regret it. I can tell you that. Unless you have a condition where you can't eat apples, in which case, don't get apples, get some pumpkin, because there's also pumpkin drinks. You can bake pumpkin pie. You can I made pumpkin muffins on the weekend. I'm not a master chef, but I made pumpkin muffins, and they were scrumptious muffins. They were absolutely delicious. Like I said, apple pie, pumpkin pie, apple cider, pumpkin spice lattes. Get out there and try these fall-flavored foods. And of course, just so you know, a pumpkin or apple spice drink or based drink is never complete without a stick of cinnamon. Oh, it is delicious. Delicious. Apple cider with a cinnamon stick in there, apple and cinnamon together. That is the taste of fall for me. I absolutely love it. There are so many things that you can do for fun in the fall. Picking apples, picking pumpkins. We don't only eat them, we also have to pick them. You can go to an apple orchard and you can pick all the apples that you can carry. Then you got to pay for them, but you can still pick them. You can go to a pumpkin patch and you can have a lot of fun doing that. But it isn't all fun and games in the fall. Raking leaves is quite the chore. It's quite a workout, actually. Raking leaves. Now, what am I talking about raking leaves? Well, as I mentioned, leaves fall from the trees. And they are beautiful. They look very nice and they smell amazing. However, if you are living in a house, then this means that your property, and likely the roof of your house, is now covered in all of these dead leaves. And beautiful as they may be, they are now rotting leaves. And they now need to be cleaned. So one of the fall chores that you can expect if you are a homeowner or if you live in a house is that you will be purchasing a rake. And you will be raking leaves every fall. My suggestion, don't get a big yard. I mean, get a big property if you like. But honestly, don't get too big of a yard. And then you can rake them up and, it doesn't take very long. The trouble is that you don't just do the job once. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? No. You rake it up. And then you turn your back. And then you turn around again. And it looks exactly like it did when you started. Because there are so many trees. But this leaf business is, it's a price to pay, isn't it? Now, just to bring up a quick little reminder on some of the words that we've looked at today. There has been some interesting vocabulary here. One word, brisk. That's a good word, brisk. I believe I also referred to my muffins as scrumptious. Scrumptious. So brisk is fresh. Brisk. Now, and we're talking cold kind of fresh. But brisk, cold, fresh feeling. Now, scrumptious. That is a colorful word. And it's a good one. Scrumptious is to say something is beyond delicious. It is so good, you're not going to forget about it anytime soon. You're going to go home and dream about it. It's scrumptious. That's the type of vocabulary we want to use. We don't want to say, oh, it was very delicious. Very delicious? That's such a boring way of putting it. You're really limiting yourself. If you say something was very tasty, very delicious, no. It was scrumptious. Absolutely scrumptious. Scrumptious and brisk. A couple new words for the vocabulary. As well as raking leaves, a new activity of the fall. Now here's where the fall gets really fun and a little spooky even. The Halloween season. We get into the Halloween season typically about around the beginning of October. People begin, putting up some decorations and all these things. It's a really fun tradition that we've got in America and Canada. Let me explain this Halloween stuff, because to some people you might look at it like, what are these people doing? Oh my goodness. Okay. Halloween. Okay. What's going on? What happened to this country? Yeah. Let me explain. Halloween is the time when, we celebrate spooky things. We celebrate the things that make us jump. And we have a little bit of fun with them. Around Halloween, you can expect to see a lot of very colorful and decorative and grotesque and gruesome images and props just covering people's houses, covering your neighborhoods, your local stores, your schools, cobwebs, zombies, giant spiders. Oh, it's terrifying. Ghosts and witches. This is what we do in Halloween. We decorate the entire country, top to bottom, and Canada too. We decorate Canada too. Top to bottom in spookiness. Now, here's what you can expect around this holiday season of Halloween. On Halloween Day, children come to your house dressed up in costumes. And they say something like, trick or treat, and they hold out their bag. And what they want is candy. They don't want apples. They don't want bottles of water and fruit. They want candy. And the point of trick or treat is they're saying, you give me candy or I'm going to play a trick on you. Now, if you don't feel that you would want to participate in this, all you've got to do is just show that you're not interested. Don't put on any decorations. Don't turn your lights on in front of your house. Just take it easy. Stay inside. Show that you're not into it. However, if you want to participate, what I suggest doing is turning your lights on in front of your house and putting up some decorations, inviting them over, inviting them for candy. Now, here's the thing. Kids know who's giving good candy, because kids talk to each other. These days, they've got cell phones, right? So they're going to text each other, and they're going to say, oh, in this house, they gave me a full Snickers bar. In this house, they gave me an apple. Nobody wants to go to the Apple House, do they? No, everybody wants to go to the Snickers bar house where they give out full chocolate bars. Or cans of soda pop. They give these out. It's absolutely delicious. That is what the whole thing's about. Now, when decorating a house, you want to keep in mind that the scarier the better. Because there are two things that you can rate a house on. One, how scary it is. Two, what kind of candy they give. It can be, if it's a little old lady in a house, you don't expect her to go climbing into trees and hanging things there. That's not going to be good. But if it's some young people in a house, you expect to find some fun things. So if you want to have fun with this, here's what I suggest. Definitely make your house, just make it not even too scary. Just put up a couple of decorations, maybe some pumpkins that you can carve into. You can do some pumpkin carving, which is another fantastic fall activity. We'll get into that another time, though. You can put those pumpkins out. We call a carved pumpkin is called a jack-o'-lantern. So a jack-o'-lantern is when they carve a scary or sometimes a funny face into a pumpkin. Jack-o'-lantern. Now, you put some of those out and kids will want to come by. Here's what the best houses do. They will have a chair, and seated in that chair is a scarecrow, or what we call a dummy, which is really just a fake person-shaped object. And the kids see this when they're walking by, and they say, oh, okay, whatever. They don't care. And then you put another chair, but here's what you have seated in there, is you. And you're wearing a hat, and you look like you're just a scarecrow, like you're just laying in the chair, slumped over. And when you hear the kids walking by, you jump up and you scare the bejeebers out of them. You get them running. That's the fun thing to do on Halloween. And then you can give out good candy afterwards. So that's my suggestion. If you want to have fun with this, hey, Halloween is the time that you can scare strangers' kids and then give them treats. It's kind of funny, isn't it? It's a fun holiday that we celebrate. Now, the origin of Halloween, it actually comes from Ireland. You see, Ireland has their own ancient holidays that have been celebrated for thousands of years. Now, I can't say I'm an expert on the history of it by any means. I've done a quick Google search, and that was it. But if you want to become an expert on it, then you can do your own Google search. I can tell you that Ireland is where Halloween originated from. Now, I hope you've enjoyed today's chat, learning a little bit about my culture and the season that we're currently in, and just the traditions that we have, and the things that you can come to expect if you yourself plan on moving to America or Canada in the future. You can bundle up when it's nippy out. You can try some hot apple cider or some pumpkin flavored everything. It's delicious. You can participate in Halloween events. You can rake your leaves. You can do so many things. This is actually a really fun season now that I think about it. Now it's easy to get, cooped up inside, to tell yourself, I'm not going out. It's cold outside. It's always cold outside. But when it's around the fall season, it's nice to get out. Well, I got to wrap things up for today. I'm happy that you've taken the time to listen to this podcast so far. Thank you very much. Lots more content to come. And I'm going to continue making these in the future to teach you more about the way we speak and the culture and the life that we live in. Well, have a great day, and I hope to hear from you again sometime soon.